Woo! What's up, everybody? Oh, yeah, that's the snowman, Lolita. Definitely the snowman. I'm gonna post this for Snowman to come up. We're doing a charity stream for our boy, the Snowman. If you don't know, he has a bout with cancer. He kicked cancer's ass from the surgery. Unfortunately, it left him in some financial restraints. So we're just trying to help him get back on his feet. So, without any further ado,
Hey,
hey,
I can't thank you enough for doing this. It's much appreciated.
no problem. A little bit of feedback or something.
I'm gonna find my headset here in a moment. Hold on.
So I'm gonna have posted in the chat as soon as he gets this on the headphone. Try to post up his Cash App and PayPal to help a good brother out. So, how's everybody's Easter and weekend? Hopefully everybody had a safe and enjoyable weekend and Easter. Last night we had my birthday party, which was off the hook. Enjoyed the hell out of myself. I did most of my recovering, but we're good. We had fun. All my brothers and my boys came out. My sister was there, her friends, and some more people. Had a good old time.
How much did you put down?
So definitely, we're going to try to rock and roll. No, you're still there, Snowman? You're probably fixing this stuff.
I'm right here.
So, you got that going? What address? Feedback.
Is that on my side? Because if it is, I can. I'm trying to find my headset here.
Start coming back.
Okay.
So yes. We're trying to raise up some money. What's up, JLJ? So, woo! Can't woo that high because my voice is still strapped. Not strapped, but a little sore from last night.
Is this better?
Way better.
Okay.
Okay. So tell the people a little bit
How's
about
everybody doing?
It's all right.
Well, I am the snowman. Brian Snow is my full name. I live in Indiana. I am happily married with a bunch of kids. A lot of them foster kids that I met through my wife. I am the host of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, but I am off duty from that show while I recover from cancer, and that's the biggest reason for this. I asked Charles to put this together because we take y'all back to last June when I got hit with bilateral blood clots in both my lungs. So that led to the first hospital trip, and then after that, a month later, that's when they discovered that I had pancreatic cancer. And if I sound tired, I am. It's a road to recovery, but we're getting there.
Did a good
So,
job kicking cancer's ass.
yeah. Um, when they discovered the cancer, I originally was put on oral chemotherapy, and in many senses, it backfired.
Mm.
And and we were at Duke University in Durham, and my wife was being told basically to find me a casket,
Mm.
and my wife, being the superhero she is, said, "Fuck that shit. We're going back to Indiana, and we're gonna solve this puzzle." I was so distraught that my wife looked me in the eye and said, "I feel like you're giving up," and that turned the light on for me. And I said, "No, I can't give up. Not on my wife, not on my kids, not on my grandkids. Can't do it. Won't do it." So we got here to Indiana right after New Year's. I met my oncologist, and he said, "Let me make a phone call." And that phone call went to Dr. Nakib down at Indiana University in Indianapolis. A couple weeks later, we met with him, and he looked me in the eye and said, "We're going to get this motherfucker for you." Wife got all the details, and this past Monday, the surgery happened. Took part of my stomach, took my spleen, a couple of the intestines, but we got that bastard. And now it's a road to recovery. And the reason I asked Charles to put this together is because we're on some hard times right now. And I thank Dr. Faulkner, or as the joke goes, the officer of the goddamn law, who is one of my best friends, who is a brother to me, who has been there for me since 2016 when he appeared on the show on two shows with me. Night before, we taped an episode with Matt Granahan, and day after, he came on the morning show, and Charles and I have been brothers since.
Good times, good times.
Wonderful times. I mean, each time we were on the air for like what, 2.5, 3 hours
Well,
at
yeah.
least.
Great information between you, Matt, and myself because we were talking about men's rights for years, talking about
Yeah,
how
man.
getting the
Yeah,
short
man.
fathers not getting their children. We've been talking about that for nearly a decade.
Yeah, man.
So so for even though I started my channel, this will come up on the second year in what, June? Um,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't notice this is that we've been talking about this for years about a lot of fathers and men's rights. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you got Brian here. There probably definitely wouldn't be an Austin Faulkner listing getting encouraged to do YouTube.
Man, I
Got my water
appreciate
legs.
y'all.
Got my water legs because of this guy for YouTube, And I think that we should show the world what the Manosphere is about and help support our
The,
brothers in need.
the true manosphere. Because it was last summer right after I came out of the hospital with my blood clots that I discovered your channel. And that's when through the internet you met my wife Jody, my daughter Sonia.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about them. I talk a lot about my son, Dakota. I talk a lot about my family.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm fucking proud of them.
Should be. Oh yeah. If anybody wants to donate anything, don't donate it to the Faulkner man. Donate it to the Snowman. And hey, anything you got is worthy of any type of help and admiration. Please don't be afraid to send it. There's
I
one
appreciate
thing.
you guys.
Trust me. This won't be the only charity show that we do. We're
No,
gonna make sure that we get our boy back on his feet.
no, this won't be the only one. I mean, my wife is doing. You want to talk about a superhero? Jody K has gone well and beyond, above and beyond, and I want to help her. And that's why we're doing this first charity live stream, first of many,
Oh yeah.
that'll not only help my road to recovery, but help us on our road to recovery and our road to independence and everything.
So yeah, let us know. Hit the subscribe. No,
Take a
don't.
listen to my show too, because Cole Johnson, I can't say enough about that brother either. Stepping in for me since April 4th when I had my surgery, and he said, "Look, you get well. I got this." That's what a manosphere is all about.
Yeah. Who has your back? Who's your supporting cast? Last night when I had my party, I had my supporting cast with me. You see Josh in the building right there. We got a PayPal. Do you have a Cash App account?
I don't.
Okay.
I just use PayPal for right now.
Okay.
I think the next time we do this, which will be in a couple weeks. I want to plan it for every couple weeks till we get on our feet. I will have a Cash App available.
Okay. Cool.
Want to do this one step at a time.
All right. Also, let's not forget Patreon if possible.
Thank you. I'm putting I do have a Patreon. Let me see if I can put this up in the back chat.
Actually, you can put that on the public chat, not just on back chat, because so everybody can see it.
Let's pay. I'll speak it And anybody that is scribing can write it down. It's patreon.com/SIT morning. Anybody can scribe that, please do.
I'm on it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll say it again. There's going to be several of these.
Patreon.com/SIT.
SIT morning.
SIT. Morning.
This is what brothers.
Patreon.com/SIT morning.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure you've had plenty of laughs these last couple of weeks or so.
Huh?
By the way, Brian is sick. How you doing?
Hey, sick.
The wolf. Oh, don't mind the symbol right here. That is because Charles will tell you that my father was in the USACE.
Okay.
So that's why I call myself the hard. That's why I call myself the hard hat baby. Son of an engineer.
It's good to hear from you, my man. I love you. It's good to hear from you.
Love you, man. Hey, I'm sure you've had a lot of had a lot of laughs, especially considering all the stuff I've been typing in the comment section on the show. You know what?
You've had me dying. Okay. You had me dying. That's why I love when you're in the chat with us.
Yeah, I know. It was painful, that last bit. I mean, especially, like what I mentioned. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you guys got to check the show out. There's one bit, especially because Cole Johnson, Cole Sports, has been handling his, but he's got his man, Wise El Jefe.
Yes.
Oye, mano. One of the baddest Puerto Ricans I've known, one of the baddest Latinos I've known.
Another great brother y'all need to check out.
Yeah. Oh, man, because when he talks about sports, that man is passionate. Although he made me laugh so hard when he said young studs, because it just came off kind of, for some reason, it came off erotic. It made me laugh my ass off for some reason. I guess it's just me.
I heard that, and I fell out laughing. But check the show out. Check out their channels. Wise El Jefe with Real Wise Radio, one of the carriers of Snowman in the Morning, and of course Cole Sports. I can't say enough about what he's done and stepping in for me, and of course I can't say enough about my beautiful wife Jody and everything she's done. She's keeping me on my toes, man. Like a wife is supposed to do. I mean, she helps, but she also helps me keep a great attitude and helps me keep my strength up.
You know what, Brian? Brian?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something right now. The way you describe everything, it reminds me of Uncle Charlie Wilson and his wife, Maheen. If you know Uncle Charlie's story.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Charles? Excuse me, Charles? You got an echo on your end. Can you fix that up? Can you meet up until you get that sorted out, please? Okay.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Charlie Wilson and his story.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you listen to, because the reason why is because one of my favorite songs, a song that's been like really uplifted my spirits every time I have deal with depression, is a song called "Cry No More."
Yeah.
In that song, he talks about, because the song talks about, it was set in 2005, and in that point, he was talking about his whole journey from being homeless up until going into rehab, meeting his wife, and then, and that's right there. So recording that song is in the studio. He was remembering 10 years of sobriety. He's been sober for 22 years now. He's going to be 23 now this year.
Yeah.
And married for 23 years. So Maheen has been an important part of his life. I mean, she was his counselor and everything. And especially like the hook where he says, like, we talk some prayer to God. He says, like, hear me out, Lord. I just want to let you know I don't have to cry no more. I found a friend who will never let me down. I don't have to hurt no more. Because I remember you talk about Brian McKnight's falling back to one, but I think, you know, in the case of Jody, it's just like Maheen, you know, when he said in the bridge, like when Charlie was saying in the bridge, you came to me that day, I was standing in the rain. You stepped into my life when the storms returned again. Because he wasn't just talking about God, he was talking about wife and everybody else. Because overcoming that shit, you just overcome all that, you need a support network.
I've only told this story in part, but when I met Jody, we met online and we talked like the week of my birthday, 2018. Yeah. I was sick that week because my sinuses were out of control and I was homeless at the time. Yeah. And it didn't help the day of my birthday. It was like 85 degrees and then it also rained. So you know everything. My whole body went nuts. But
it was a bubble you were in. High humidity, high rain. Yeah, I've been in that kind of situation. It's hell. It is hell.
It's hell. But we talked. Jody and I talked nonstop until September 1st of 2018 when I called her and I wanted to stand out. So I called her while I was doing a football game. And
wait, what was the day again?
September 1st, 2018.
2018? God damn it, that was my 36th birthday. You met on my 36th birthday. God damn it. And speaking of birthdays, I gotta be mad at you about something. You had your surgery on April 4th.
Yes.
The nerve of you had to have it on my mother's birthday. Because I would have said hi, but I had to call my mother that day. You know, it was her birthday. She was turning.
But you know what? Your mother gave me that strength. Your mother's birthday gave me that strength. And yes,
Jody, I'll tell you. She gives a lot of people strength. Shout out to my moms. Shout out to my moms.
Yes. But
as a matter of fact, how are you feeling now that you gave cancer a kick in the ass?
Yes. Oh man, we got our first PayPal donation. Thank you. Looking for more. We got the Patreon going. The Patreon is going to be more permanent because it's going to help build the show, build the finances for the show and for my company when I do get back on my feet. And a lot of that is going to be paying some bills. So there's going to be.
You don't say that means. It means God willing.
Say again.
Oh, in my mother tongue, we say is gift which means God willing.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the grace of God.
Yeah, we're gonna get.
And that's a Christian thing, folks.
Right. Did any donations come in?
Got one so far. And appreciate it.
Yeah. Of course,
Please, everybody.
I will say this.
Hold on, neighbor. Please, everybody, do your part. Let's help a really good man in a time of need. Giving you some, especially for all of you sports lovers, man. This is the right man to speak to. Man, he'll take you back in the day from Memorial Stadium to the Baltimore Civic Center. Hell, he'll even tell you when Johnny Unitas was the man. Go ahead,
man. Johnny. Listen, if there's a 1 and 1A, and Charles, you've known me many a moon now. I've had so many people, what do I call them? Bradyites, trying to convince me of Tom Brady's might. I said, listen, the fellow he idolized did it for me. And that fellow was Joe Montana.
Yep.
Montana to Clark made me a 49er fan for life.
Yeah, that Montana.
Dude.
Well, believe it or not, he was agile in the pocket.
Yeah, he was. That's what he didn't get. That's what he doesn't get a lot of credit for. Even to the day till the year he retired, 1994, he was very agile in the pocket.
He had some good agility, some good decent speed. But man, he had an arm. He had an arm on him.
Yeah, he did. That's what did it for me, and it was that game against the Cowboys where he hit Dwight Clark in the back of the end zone. And shout out to the late great Dwight Clark. The play was for Freddie Solomon. This is what a lot of people don't realize. The play was for Freddie Solomon, but Montana told Dwight Clark, "Be ready. I might have to come to you." So the Cowboys sent the entire house. And Montana knew it because he immediately rolled to his right, faked and faked and faked, and then threw it to a spot. And then 6'4" Dwight Clark, out of nowhere, leaps and makes the catch and basically starts the dynasty for San Francisco.
Boom.
Little thing.
And that's one thing quarterback has to have: good vision, attention to detail in such a short span of time.
The crazy part is
you have to have a good read of the field.
The crazy part is for that game, and I didn't realize it until I looked at the stats a little bit later. 49ers turned the ball over 6 times that day. They turned the ball over 6 times.
And yet they won the game, right?
28-27.
Exactly. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
It's how you finish.
Hey, sometimes you win pretty, sometimes you win ugly. It doesn't matter.
And this is an ugly fight I have ahead of me, but I'm going to win this motherfucker.
Let me put it this way. As Cole Sports has mentioned numerous times via me, no, I'm not bragging, but we're gonna get Brian here a leather jacket and some shades. His favorite cuss word from now on is gonna be motherfucker. We're gonna get him that a vintage bad motherfucker wallet like Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction, because when he comes back to the mic, his intro is gonna be the Shaft song, and of course, I'm sure Isaac Hayes will be looking down on him and say, "Brother, you doing good. Man, I'll tell you, that Brian Snow was one bad mother." Shut your mouth. I'm talking about Snow. Yeah, we can dig it.
Oh, yeah. Snow walked in there like fucking 94, like 95 Steve Austin in the glass and then kicking my ass on cancer.
Yep.
He stuffed a mud hole in it and walked the drive.
And
speaking of Chicago, speaking of Chicago, I wonder if you catch the last Friday show when they had Chris Bass on it.
I didn't. I was really, really exhausted that day, but I know Chris Bass tore it up. I know Bass tore it up.
We got nostalgic about bassists. We were talking about, because I was like, I hope he brings a bass like Verdine White. And next thing you know, we're just bouncing on talking, mentioning our favorite bassmen. I'm talking about bass guitar, folks.
I'm gonna tell you,
I love it.
I have respect for baseball for it, man. And I know you're talking bass guitars, but I'm gonna tell you, one of the hardest things you ever had to do is to get a great shortstop is like a dream.
Yeah.
To get a great shortstop, you gotta hum that ball between first the third like a motherfucker, like a bad man.
Man, listen.
You got to play. Shortstop still get enough respect. Oh, go ahead.
You know what, Charles?
Yep.
My first favorite shortstop was Cal Ripken Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the Baltimore Orioles.
Listen, I hated the Orioles when they beat the White Sox in '83, but I respect the hell out of that club because of who they had.
I think damn everybody on that team's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because the Orioles were the only team in '83 that could throw two effective left-handers at us, and they threw one, Scott McGregor, to open the series, and then they crossed us up with Mike Flanagan in Game 3. And Flanagan, number 46, Mike Flanagan would have different angles. He would come over the top 1 minute, and then, especially to lefties, he dropped sidearm. That was a tough out.
Yeah. I mean, he's talking about a Hall of Fame team. And
that whole team, man.
right there, folks. You notice if you didn't catch the details, his attention to details. This is what a sportscaster is all about. Attention to details. They know all the little intricacies. Yeah. Just like if you watch boxing, you know, like color commentators, you know all the ins and outs of every play.
Oh yeah. And the beautiful part about it is how, you know, with the Snowman, you're getting all this nostalgia and the current.
Mm-hmm. I mean, now I understand what Chris Bates was talking about when he said, "This man, Snowman, he's Rain Man." He talks about stuff I can't believe he knows. I'm like, but you know,
I love Chris Bates.
Yeah, you gotta love that man, fellow Chicagoan.
The day he gave me that name,
yeah,
was after he challenged me, because the piece of trivia was there anyone that threw for 400 yards in the Super Bowl? And I immediately said, yeah, Kurt Warner did. And Bates looked at me while we were on the air. He says, no way that happened. And I spat out the stats: 29 of 45, 414 yards, he threw 2 touchdowns. He went home, looked it up, came back next day, looked at me, and he says, you're a Rain Man because of all that. But as I mentioned with Flanagan, he comes over the top and then he drops sidearm to lefties. You know what pissed me off about Scott McGregor? And you don't see this in baseball nowadays. McGregor had this real deliberate motion for a lefty. It wasn't fluid. It wasn't one motion. It was like he had an over-the-top windup. And he had, and Charles, you know Scott McGregor, he had this short leg kick. This real short leg kick, and you're wondering, when are you going to throw the damn thing?
Yeah. Like, it's funny because, you know, when you're looking at a leg kick, I mean, we got to give all praise to Marco Huas, you know, for basically showing you how to effectively throw leg kicks in MMA, and he did it against a guy who outweighed him by 100 pounds.
King of the streets.
Chopped him down like a tree, literally. And they, like, you're right, they call him the king of the streets.
Yeah.
And he was with the, he's like Shamrock. He was like Shamrock. He was, well, you could say both Shamrock brothers. He was like Boss Fruit. He was before his time. Yeah. Because you never seen anybody in the UFC with that level of skill standing up and on the ground. It can flow through it seamlessly. See, there's one thing to go through in sports, but when you can do multiple things seamlessly, that's what makes you a legend.
Yeah.
That's not very
One thing people forget about Marcos Ruas is this. First of all, he was not only a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he was also a third-degree black belt in Luta Livre, which is Brazilian catch wrestling.
Yeah.
Which is a rival martial arts of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In fact, the rivalry between two. Oh yeah, it was class warfare. They fought in Vale contests. I mean, the greatest rivalry was like between two masters. Luta Livre's founder and creator, Mr. Tattoo, which means the armadillo. And of course, there was Helio Gracie. Gracie was supposed to compete against Tattoo, but he insisted that Tattoo wear a gi. And Tattoo said no, because in Luta Libre we don't wear gis. And they were proud of it because Luta Libre practitioners usually came from the working class.
Okay.
But the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners mostly came from the upper class, and it was class warfare in a sense. But there was a lot of people from Luta Libre who would go on to take up Jiu-Jitsu because they were able to uplift themselves upwardly. But sometimes they were looked at as an act of betrayal. But no. But in recent years, besides Jiu-Jitsu, Luta Libre has started to regain some newfound popularity.
Oh yeah, it reminds me of the old. Remember the early 1800s, the late early 1900s, when American catch wrestling went toe to toe against Japanese judo.
I remember that. We talked about that.
Oh yeah,
we talked about that on the air with Matt. American catch wrestling.
That's why a lot of that's like Matt loves it, and that's why a lot of that tradition and that going through the different classes, the American class, versus the Japanese judo. Like you actually had guys who defeated these black belts and was technically, in all rights and privileges, the world champion of catch wrestling and the world champion of judo because he beat the world champion and submitted him.
Right.
In fact, there's also Japanese jiu-jitsu, but also let's not forget wrestling has been around since forever. I mean, if you look at wrestling since ancient Greece, or pankration, or pankratos as they call it. But if you look at throughout Eurasia, they all had, every single ethnicity had, every single tribe ethnicity had their own style of folk style wrestling. And of course, in Russia, they have a martial art called Sambo that was developed in the 20th century. And what it did is it incorporated aspects of judo, folk style wrestling, catch wrestling, and whatnot into a martial art. Now, the pure form of it is grappling, but in the Russian military, they have the combat form, which is like the closest thing to pankration or mixed martial arts. And that shit is nasty. But it's unique how they said. In fact, I watched it was a video. It was between a jiu-jitsu tero, which is a BJJ practitioner, taking on a samboist. And it came to a draw, but the way they try to take down each other and try to submit each other, try to use different leg techniques, it was interesting.
Something else, man.
Something else.
Something else.
It's something else. But you can't take away the other forms of like catch wrestling, grappling, like the form that the Shamrocks, they were masters of the catch wrestling. Everybody talks about jiu-jitsu, but you can't underestimate the power of judo, because before Ronda Rousey, you had a couple other judokas. There was I forgot. Yeah, one guy Karo Parisian, the Heat, an Armenian. Shouts out to speaking of which, to all Armenians out there, or any Orthodox folks, happy Hosanna, which is Palm Sunday for us. Easter Sunday is next Sunday, but happy Easter to everybody else. But Karo Parisian, the Heat.
Shortly, I'd like to say this to everybody of the Christian faith and any faith that celebrates Easter. Death wears that sting, grave wears that victory.
Woo! Amen. And Ramadan
just
Kareem
got
to
a
every all Muslims because it is Ramadan.
And
well,
so
I
we
just got a
celebrate
victory.
Ramadan.
I just got a victory of my own.
Yeah.
Just a moment ago, I got an email from um, a group called 1891 Basketball. They loved my demo, and they want me to call some games remotely for them.
Ah, sweet.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And I hope you can get Cole on there because you guys need the jokes and everything. Cole is going to be bringing in. He's going to bring in the heat.
You know what? Me and Cole on a basketball game. I don't think I'd make it through the. I don't think I'd make it through the game because I'm trying to. Yeah, I made this comparison before on the show, and Sick, you were with us. Me and Cole would be like Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr, old Bulls announce team. Cole would be going nuts. I would be trying to deliver the play-by-play, but that's just how we are. That's just how. You know what? Charles uses the term manosphere. This we can put a 4-letter word in front of what we do. This is the true manosphere. Because we actually give a fuck about our brothers. We actually give a fuck about we actually give a fuck about our brothers and their families and everybody within. And we do what men are supposed to do. Because I came to Charles and I said, would you put together a charity donation live stream for me? And before I even blinked, he said, sure. So we worked out a time and I saw the notification come in and I'm going, this is really happening. But this is what we do. This is what brothers do.
Who remembers the song The Best Man from the Best Man soundtrack?
What's the title of the song?
Best Man I Can Be.
I remember that.
That's what it is here, right here.
And that's what I'm telling my wife every day on this road to recovery. Be the best man I can be every day.
You're still your theme is still going to be the shafts. It's going to be the shaft thing.
Oh, it's got to be. My friend. You know what? It's going to be a combination theme because I want to come in. I want to come in like the Undertaker with his leather jacket, and then fade into the shaft theme. The morning I take the chair. And it's going to be a bit because I know I got to build my stamina back up and everything. And I am enjoying the road to recovery. And I will tell y'all, this is not the easiest trick to pull off.
Oh, we definitely know that. You're doing it very gracefully. I'll tell you that, my brother. You're doing it very gracefully.
There are moments, and Jody will tell you, there are moments where I will cry, but then I get encouraged the next moment. There are days where I will sleep 4 or 5 hours at a time. And then there are days I feel like I can walk a marathon, but now I'm starting to get everything balanced. It's been a full week now. It'll be a week Tuesday since I've been home. And everything, not all at once, thank God, is starting to come back to me.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing I have to tell myself, and that's the thing, I have to tell myself to slow down. I have to tell myself to go slow. I have to continue to tell myself to go slow because if I don't, then I'm going to be so worn out every day that I'm going to want to give this shit up. And I'm not going to. I can't give up.
Oh, go
If
ahead. Go
anybody
ahead.
that's coming, this is a charity event for the Snowman, the conqueror of cancer. Needs our help. To help out with a little bit of financial burden he's been dealing with due to the defeating this disease. So please, you see it up there on the screen. Please screenshot it. Do what you need to do, but donate, please. Anything you could give will help. Woo! Back to the Snowman.
And I appreciate you.
Well,
I appreciate you guys.
yeah. I will say this, Brian. A little story about myself, because I suffer from my mental health issues and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times where I can't do. There are times where I just avoid doing certain things because of my OCD. So, and sometimes it gets really stressful until I have to push myself. And when I'm going through it, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard and it hurts.
Yep.
I mean, one of the worst things I had to do was I had to pick up a package from my brother, and I didn't know where it came from, everything. So trying to clean it, everything, that really pushed my OCD, my anxieties, and my complex PTSD over the edge.
Yeah.
So much so that I was having anxiety attacks and everything. So, but at some point, I had to call a friend and tell him, I had to remind myself, this shall pass. This shall pass. Anytime I go through some really stressful shit, I have to pull myself back and say, just breathe. You're doing okay. This will pass. Even when it gets really bad. I mean, there's been a couple of times where I have to call a friend because just for like emotional support, because they know how messed up it is, especially when you have a personality disorder.
That's the
somehow
first
managed to
thing
get over it.
my wife tells me to do is to breathe.
Yeah.
She tells me to breathe all the time. She reminds me to breathe all the time.
You know what? You need there's a song by Nas called Breathe.
Mm-hmm.
You need to bump that every once in a while.
There's a few songs I'm gonna bump when I get back in the chair in about 5 weeks' time. And I'm taking the full recovery time. I'm not gonna rush.
By the way, just don't pick up the bass. Leave the bass with Chris bass. You just gotta pick up the guitar and go back.
I'm leaving the bass where it is.
Yeah, you just pick up that guitar, go either Buddy Guy or play like Buddy Guy or like what's his name, Muddy Waters.
You know what I'm thinking. I might analogy I might use. I'm a game show buff. I'm an old school game show buff. Okay. You know that little step that Bob Barker did when he came through the doors to start The Price is Right? That'll be my little strut when I come back.
Hey,
that might work.
Start practicing it now.
Yeah. That'll be what I do.
Wait, are you able to walk okay right now? Can you stand okay? I mean, have they gotten the stitches out yet or what?
The stitches are still in.
Yeah.
And
so basically your feet are like George Carlin. They like the ground just like he likes his people. He doesn't hate them, he just likes them in short spurts.
Exactly. That's about how my energy has been. Anytime around minute and a half, I gotta get the fuck out of there. But seriously, there are times where I would sit up in bed, and Jody has seen this. I'll sit up in bed and think about doing something, and then my body would just go, "Nope, lay back down," because it ain't gonna happen at this. It ain't gonna happen at this moment. Eventually, it does happen. And moment after moment, I test my stamina and test my strength, but I'm not gonna overdo it.
No.
I'm just happy to have this thing out of me.
Yeah.
And just
thank God you're alive. You came through. No complications, none of that.
I'm ready to see I'm ready to see number 50.
Exactly.
I'm ready for my wife to see number 50. I mean, we're going to someone.
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Charles, can you put it up? Shouts out to Ray Hanma, the Hanma Force for $5. That's right, a full $5. No $4.99. No nothing 99. This ain't no chicken dinner, sir. This ain't fast food. God damn it. I have to deal with this shit. I ask this type of questions whenever I go grocery shopping. Oh, another $10 from Broken Blade.
Thank you, Broken Blade. Thank you.
We're gonna make sure
thank you
goes to the snowman. Even if I gotta pay the tax that stupid ass YouTube takes out their 30%, I'm gonna make sure he gets his full money.
Oh, you guys are appreciated so much.
Charles, you're still an officer of the goddamn law, right?
Yes, he is.
Well, let me tell you something. Well, if you remember what Bernie Mac told Kid in House Party 3.
What's that?
Boy, just be yourself. If people don't like you when you be yourself, fuck them. Fuck them up against the wall. And don't worry, you got the handcuffs. I'm just gonna get you the crazy glue so you can fuck them up real bad up against the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's do that.
Love it. That was my dad's. That was my dad's message to me before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
If people don't like you for who you are, fuck them.
Fuck them.
And
let's not forget those 3 letters he told you.
Fuck them again.
CYA. Cover your ass.
Cover your ass. One of the best rules my dad ever gave me.
Sometimes you got to look at this as a beautiful moment. Like I do. I got to show you the guys. My boys put me on with a nice rum with a beer. I got to show you motherfuckers the view. Right here.
Uh-oh.
This cool Baltimore night. You see that, fellas?
Yeah.
Oh,
beautiful.
Nice view. That's a view.
That's a view and a half.
That is a view and a half.
People's put me on to this. I'm loving it.
Well, you should.
And Charles, you might want to. Is your beard starting to wolf up a bit now?
Oh no.
Okay. Oh, for a moment I thought you were starting to look more like Rick. You were starting to look less like Mark Henry, more like Rick Ross for a minute. I was like, oh, what the hell happened to my bro? What happened here? That's a scary thought.
Trying to get the beard thicker.
He was a couple inches short. He was a couple inches short of being James Harden all of a sudden. I was like, oh no, I don't want to see that shit.
God. Man, don't put sick. Don't do that to me, man.
No, it's okay.
That beautiful full moonlight out there too. Look at that shit right there.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay, that's a Marvin Gaye type of moon right there. Cause now I got to call a friend of mine and I start singing Sexual Healing.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear God.
You know what? Speaking of Marvin Gaye, if we could talk about relationships for a minute, if I can pick your brains with it.
Yeah.
There's a certain fellow brother in arms, and Charles will explain to you what I mean by fellow brother in arms, because I am considered a brother in arms to him, because I've served my country. But my man, our mutual friend over in Finland, Semper Fidelis. Charles, can you meet up for a minute? You got the echo still bothering you.
Hold on. Just doing some movement.
Yeah.
Keep going.
All right. Well, I realize when it comes to relationships, the best analogy would be Marvin Gaye, all the duet albums he did. Because remember, he did 6 duet albums. One in 64 with Mary Wells, 65 with Kim Weston, and then 67, 68, 69 with Tammy Terrell, and then 73 was the last one, Diana Ross.
Yeah.
And I realized those duet pairings could be the best analogy of what type of relationship a man might be in with. Because I realized, especially if it's like a lot of women think they're Diana Ross, but more often than not, they're either Kim Weston or Kim Weston or Mary Wells.
Mm-hmm.
The ones who were in a happy relationship are just basically like the pairing of Tammy Terrell with Marvin, because remember he did 3 albums with her.
Yep.
There was a chemistry there. Something worked in that song, even though her passing did affect him. He was devastated when she died, but the music they did, you could hear it in their voices. They loved working together with each other. It was just a passion. With Mary Wells, it was 64. It was the first time him and Berry Gordy just convinced them to work together, and they were kind of reluctant. I mean, the songs were cool, but I can't think of a
64 wasn't 73 with Tammy Terrell.
No, Tammy Terrell was from 67 to 69.
Okay, thank you. But you can tell
was my Diana Ross.
You can tell the difference.
Yeah, I mean
3 with Tammy Terrell.
Oh yeah,
because if you listen to him and Mary Wells that same year she put out her hit song "My Guy," right?
Yeah.
She was singing that song. She was singing "My Guy." She wasn't talking about Marvin. But then again, Marvin knew he heard it through the grapevines that same year. But there was nothing there. I didn't feel anything. I couldn't hear. I heard it in their voice. I mean, it was just generic.
Marvin was on one side of the room and Mary Wells was on the other side of the room.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm thinking anybody who's in a relationship, that kind of parent describes a relationship where you're with the person, you have no idea why you're there with them. Like, why are we together? Why are we together?
Why are we doing
It's like a one-night stand or a relationship we're getting. Exactly. And then you have the pairing with Kim Weston. Of course, everybody remembers the song "It Takes Two."
Yep.
With Kim Weston, that's like a one-night stand, or that's like a relationship for a laugh, as they say in the UK, like a short-term relationship, not for keeps. It Takes Two. I remember that when they did the cover of the Four Tops' "Baby You're All I Need." Those are some good songs.
Yeah.
But it wasn't all that.
Still wasn't lighting it up.
Nothing, not. But Tammy Terrell and Marvin
laid each other up.
They worked it out. It was a good, I have to admit, Tammy Terrell. Gentlemen, that woman was fine. She was fine. Compared her and Diana, I take Tammy. There was something, it was genuine. It was youthful. Just looking at her.
They were kind of in love.
Well, she was in with David Ruffin though.
Oh
she was with David Ruffin. Before that, she was with James Brown, and oh man, that was an abusive relationship. But anyway.
Oh yeah, both were actually.
Yeah. Oh, especially David with his issues. Remember, he had legal issues. He had drug problems and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Diana Ross is 73. Now understand, Marvin, he just came back he just came to terms with Tammy's death. He put out What's Going On, which was a great album, and then the Trouble Man soundtrack.
Yep.
Diana Ross was on the come up, on the rise, because remember she did Lady Sing the Blues, that movie. So that's like your stereotype, like your typical relationship nowadays, where the woman's trying to be on top. And there were 2 songs in that album that really helped me realize that, because remember, they had a song called "You Are Everything," right? So every woman wants every man to be singing "You Are Everything," but every man is singing "My Mistake." Like Marvin's like, "My mistake was love you, girl. Love you, girl." I gotta keep it down because it's 5 in the morning in here. Anyway, but that tells you something.
I'm so happy I have the one who's my everything.
Yeah.
I call her my phoenix because
Well,
she's
she
been
rises from the
through
ashes.
a lot. Yes, she's been through it, man. And she calls me her dragon. So,
By the way, she still call you her favorite nerd?
yes.
And it just to remind you what about that thing about being a nerd. First of all, Brian, yes, you're
Yeah,
turning 50. But here's the thing. Nerds don't get old. They become rare first editions.
they become better. And
Rare first
I
editions.
love I love the fact that I'm turning 50 this year.
Oh, you
And ballsy about it too.
and do it happily, do it mightily.
I am so happy my wife and I are turning 50 this year because we're
Congratulations.
gonna sell it. Because after everything we've been through, just in the time we've been together, we're gonna celebrate every moment, every day. And my daughter Cheyenne
Mhm.
is convinced on throwing a combination party for me and Jody
Mhm.
because
Hey,
her birthday's a month ahead of mine.
okay.
Who else we got? Who else
Hey,
we got on the screen here?
We got
we got
AL.
AL, our everybody's favorite
Everybody's
mother
favorite
trucker.
mother trucker, baby.
Hey,
Everybody's favorite AL.
what's going on, AL?
Is this Snowman?
Hey, hey.
Hey, what's good, Snowman? You doing all right, brother? You keeping pushing?
Every day, my friend.
Hey,
Kick
man,
cancer in
man.
the
Hey,
kick
fellas,
cancer in the ass, and
I'm
now
gonna
on the
need
road to full recovery.
next 5 minutes, man. I'm on this road. That's why I came on here to us. But I had to come on here and tell you, hey, buddy, I hooked up with my UPS guy down here because we just cooked about 200 pounds of meat this weekend. I'm talking about God, but I told him, I said, hey, I scratched your back and I need you to scratch mine. This is my friend, this is my friend, retirement and his birthday present, man. I need you to mail this to him. I said, man, I can't do that. It's gonna cost you. I said, no, you set it up, tell me how much it's gonna cost, I shoot you the money. I just need you to keep the UPS so you can get to my man. So it's gonna be to you by the end of this week, bucko.
I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate you.
Like I
Man.
told you, dude, and I tell everybody, you saved my life, bro. I could have put my nephew 6 feet deep and wouldn't have gave a damn. Still don't give a damn. And man, oh man, I ain't even gonna talk about that right now. I'm in good headspace. I'm trying to get my daughter ready for get her.
Yeah.
Bro, I just spent $140 on nails and toes, and then you come back. Yeah, what's that? My hip, my eyelash. I said, if you don't get your Mr. Bird snuffle up his ass away from me right now, you is breaking me. I let you know.
But you can't put a price on that time.
No,
Man,
you
Nope.
can't.
Can't put a price
I
on that time.
was all Friday, got off Friday morning and had to run hands and stuff, pay bills, and she called every 15 minutes. How long you gonna be? I'm like, God, you acting like a fiend. What's a fiend, Daddy? I said, no, it's a whole different death. You don't even know what fiend is. Kids.
You know it's
They don't have no extras. They cost too much.
you know something I can celebrate today. When I came upstairs earlier in the day because I felt my energy dropping, I came up here to bed and my wife came up and then my son Dakota came up. I hugged him and I cried. And I told him
Oh wow.
I love him. I appreciate him. I mean, hell, Jody tells me all the time that we act so much alike, you would think he was my natural son. And Dakota's 23, but he accepted me. Sonia accepted me. Cheyenne, Carmen. I'll tell you what, man. When you're accepted and embraced, You know, I was crying and Dakota was telling me it's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. That does something to you as a father.
Makes you feel stronger, man.
Yeah,
Makes
it
you
does.
the lessons that you imparted to your kids ring true. See, if you weren't the kind of man that you were, there would be no Jody, there'd be no kids, there'd be
Nope.
nobody around you. But look, when you're going through rough times, you gotta always think, who's your supporting cast? Who
Mm-hmm.
has your back?
Absolutely.
Always be around people who got your back.
That's why I'm here
Always.
with you guys. That's why I'm here with you guys. You know what's crazy? When I was in ICU, my daughter Cheyenne, I called Cheyenne through Facebook, through a Facebook Messenger, and she always picks at me. Bless her heart. She says, Pop, you look pathetic. And usually I laugh, but I was so tired and so worn out. I said, baby girl, I feel worse than pathetic. And her next question to me was, do you want me to come up there? And she's in Los Angeles. And I said, yes.
Wait, how old is she?
Uh, 25.
Okay, now she's fully mature.
I
Hopefully.
mean, she flew up from Los Angeles to Indianapolis that day.
I don't blame her. She did what she had
It's
to do.
like my whole
Help her
family
dad.
came. It's like my whole family came running.
I mean, you have no idea how whenever you have like family emergencies and such, they'll just drop everything and just come over there and say, I'll be there as soon as I can.
That's what Cheyenne did. And Sonia came to visit a couple times. And it's like they were there and I heard them talking, but I was sleeping off and on. And they would just peek over at me. You doing okay, Pop? I'm like, yeah. And Jody would just say, just go to sleep.
Yeah. Hey,
That's all
by
she
the
would
way,
tell me.
Ryan,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure sooner or later you're gonna start doing the old fuck routine like George Carlin. Every once in a while, you're gonna start, pretend you have Alzheimer's just to fuck with them. And soon they're gonna start listening to you very closely, very closely, very closely. Just don't shit in your pants. Just don't shit in your pants.
No, I can't do that.
Nah. Can't be doing that.
Just rolling
Can't
the
be doing
suitcase along. Someone
It's
comes
like, who
along.
are
Hey,
you?
let me help you. How far are you going? Indianapolis.
He
That
wants
was
to
on
help.
his
Fuck
last
him. Let's put him
special.
to work.
Put him to work. Exactly.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And you
Because I
wonder,
know Carlos
and you
Fair.
wonder why I love George Carlin so much.
Yeah. I will forgive George Carlin because he once used the N-word, but he used it for a reason.
That's the
Context.
Because
realest
he talked.
I ever known. That was the realest comedian I ever known, white or black. Period. Point
Yep.
blank.
Yep. That's why I love him.
I couldn't get mad at him when he used it because he said, first of all, everybody get mad at black comics because he used the word. I said, well, that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They have
put
them.
it
And
in-
he was like, shit. He put it in absolute context, and we shouldn't cancel him for that. We should
He
commend
put
him
it.
for
He
that.
put it in the correct. He put it in the correct context.
Yeah,
He put it in the correct context. Love him for that.
defended him for that. I'm pretty sure
And
he and Richard Pryor cracking jokes up in heaven if there is
you
a
know
heaven.
what? Those two idolized each other because if you look at his last special in 2008, Whose picture was that on his set? That was Richard Pryor.
Hey, game recognized game. Real recognized
Game
real.
recognized game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Game recognized game.
I mean, it's like some of
And
the
you
like
could
the greatest
tell,
rival streaks.
and you could tell they had fun picking at each other because I want to say it was Carlin at Carnegie in '82
Uh-huh.
where he did the comedians health sweepstakes,
Uh-huh.
and he goes, "I lead Richard Pryor in heart attacks 2-1." For them to pick at each other health wise, for me, that's respect because that's how much they loved each other. You know?
They've been through shit.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, have you ever seen the roast of not George Carlin, but Richard Pryor's roast? It was the final episode of the
Yes.
Richard Pryor show.
Yes.
He got them all.
He did.
Got them all. Even Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I remember what is it?
And again, that's how much they love him, and he loved them. They threw barbs at him. He threw it right back.
Yeah, I mean, like, who was there? What's her name? Marsha Warfield.
Warfield. Oh my God. The line she used. The line she used. He would always tell me to sit on his lap, and I felt like he was Santa Claus because he always gave me something.
I was surprised he didn't even try to date me because I thought I wasn't young, I wasn't pretty, I wasn't white.
Mm-hmm.
And come to think, and the truth was, she's actually of the LGBT community.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't come out until her mother passed away.
Yeah.
And you got to respect her for that, God.
Always.
She owned up. Yeah. Who else? Tim Reed. Everybody might remember him from WKPR in Cincinnati as as Venus Flytrap.
Yep.
I remember him also in another show. If you remember Tia and Tamara.
Do y'all remember the Thanksgiving episode of WKRP?
Vaguely, but I was really young.
Look it up and listen for the phrase, "Oh my God, they're turkeys."
Speaking of which, when I mentioned Marsha Warfield, do you remember the show Night Court?
I do.
Charlie Wright and everybody?
I do.
That was a good show. That was a good show. Especially.
You broke my heart when you told me she was part of the LGBTQ community. When she was on Night Court, I wanted to bang the shit out of her.
I know. I remember her. If anybody's ever watched any white sitcoms, one of my favorites, I mean, yes, I'll admit, I've seen the show Golden Girls as a little kid, but I also watched a show called Empty Nest.
Yes.
In the later seasons of Empty Nest, Marsha Warfield became a doctor, played a doctor who was a colleague of the main protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just as witty as she was on Night Court.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll throw stuff out of left field, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Have y'all ever seen her? Have y'all ever seen her? She is fucking funny, man.
Has anybody ever seen her in a sitcom? Has anybody remember she had a talk show back in the day?
I don't remember. I just remember her in Night Court, and she made a few game show appearances. Oh, okay. She had made a few game show appearances too.
Okay. Speaking of which, let's not forget the late. Who else was on that roast? Johnny Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was bad. I mean, Johnny Witherspoon, one of the baddest motherfuckers. You know, it's from him. It's from him. It was from him. I learned, first of all, two things. Always, you got to coordinate, but also I remember one of the most important lessons in life, and this was a running gag from the Friday franchise. No matter how shitty of a day you having, things look a whole lot better after you take a good long shit. Sometimes, hell, I even look at this and say, look, you just had a shitty day. All you need to do right now is take a good long shit and regroup and do better the next morning. Do better next day. Hell, that's why I sing Constipation Blues sometimes by Screaming Jay Hawkins. Because you got to understand real pain.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I don't know who's got...
Of course, my favorite line from Friday, and I say this to Cancer and Dr. Charles and Big Al, I say it proudly.
Hey, Al.
Hey, Cancer, you got knocked the fuck out. Bitch.
Payback's a motherfucker. Who else was on that roast?
This Cancer got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Did it wear me out? Sure did. And that day,
let's put it this way:
when I went in, I remember being prepped for it or prepping myself for it.
Yeah.
They strapped oxygen to me. I gave my wife a kiss. And the next thing I knew, it was 6:15 in the evening.
Slept like a baby,
I remember being wheeled out, and next thing I knew, it was 6:15. I saw my daughter, I saw my wife, I saw my in-laws, and everything was good. And my body said, "Okay, we can go back to sleep now."
Hey, have you ever seen the video for Charlie Wilson's "If I Believe"?
No.
You know what that song's about, right?
Tell me.
If I Believe. That song came out in 2013. It was just after he undergone treatment for prostate cancer. And the video is just basically in the video starts with footage of him in the hospital just before he's about to get wheeled in for surgery. He's holding hands with his wife Maheen, and they're saying a prayer just before he goes in under the knife for undergo treatment for prostate cancer. And it just shows all his footage of all of his time performing and being with people, and it ends with him back home after fully recovering, just throwing his hands up in the fist in the air like he succeeded from cancer.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I saw everybody, I threw a fist pump, and I went to sleep. Because if you go through treatment for cancer, especially when you go the surgery route, it kicks your ass, man.
It's grueling. It takes a toll on you, man.
It's very grueling. Let me shout out Dr. Nakib and his surgical team, and Dr. Raghunath, my oncologist here in Columbus, Indiana, and all the folks in the Franciscan Healthcare IU health system, because we went from a casket to life, from Durham, North Carolina to here in Columbus, Indiana, where we can plan our lives now. And I gotta shout them out. I gotta shout my wife out for getting in my ass about my health. And for
we all get asked about the health.
For shaking my shoulders and going, baby, I need you. I'm not doing this alone.
We got all each other. After this, you got to bring it to Chicago, and you got to show her how to step, man. You got to take a step, man.
Listen, I'm bringing her to when I get fully well. I'm bringing her to Chicago, and I'm feeding her. That's the promise I'm going to keep.
And Chris Spaces are gonna be there busting your gut.
You know what? I'll have microphones with me. I'll have my mixer with me. Bass and I'll get together and do a show outside, like when it's warm. We'll make that a special. We'll put it on this channel, on my channel, and just have fun. That'll be one of the donation streams I do from Chicago. And then I got to go see the officer of the goddamn law in Baltimore, Maryland. And we got to do
smoke
something.
cigars, though.
No, I got to make sure I see the officer. And where are we going to do our show? Because I'm planning this tour. We're going to do our show outside M&T Bank Stadium.
Oh yeah.
We got to go to the bank. We got to go to M&T Bank Stadium.
Oh yeah. Where the Angry Birds play.
Where the Angry Birds play.
I better get my Ricky Williams jersey then. Shit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Ricky Williams is my dude. I mean, Charles understands it. The only reason he doesn't do it, he doesn't try to whoop my ass is because I always have that Ravens jersey, number 32. Always got to have that number 32. 34, sir. Okay. Yeah, 34, sir. Always got to have that Ravens 34 just in case.
You know what
I don't want to get
when things get better for me, I'm gonna go see Charles, and I'm gonna have a Scott McGregor jersey on, the old Orioles jersey, and have enough strength where I can do his wind up, you know. Or I either have Ripken Jr. or Eddie Murray or Rick Dempsey. Hell, Dempsey got them to and through the World Series in '83.
Oh yeah.
Mike Boddicker, part of that staff.
Then we also got to talk about some Ravens.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Shout out to the master teacher because he been posting some new videos. He been posted up real good.
He been on fire, Charles. He been on fire.
I know. I know. I mean, he been posting some videos. I haven't seen them yet, but I'm just chomping at the bits, boys and girls. And just because we have a lonely action, I have to remind people. See that PayPal? Donate to your man, TheSnowman.
Yeah.
Because we in the manosphere, we help brothers out in need. We help brothers when they're not in need. Hell, we just help brothers just because we help brothers. Man, everybody, if you can, I understand everybody might not have it, but if you got something to give, please give it. No specific amounts, but hey, you know, we give to our brothers in need. We have a brotherhood. If you really want this to be the fellowship and brotherhood, prove it right now. Woo!
Walk the walk. Because
walk that aisle.
Walk the aisle. And I will say walk the aisle because I walked the aisle and beat cancer. And now I need everybody to walk the aisle and not just help me, but help my family. To me, it's always been about my family. And it's always been about La Familia. The PayPal you see on your screen, help a snowman out.
All about the family.
Because it's all about the family. And I want to get back on my feet. I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate with them, celebrate with the manosphere. And believe me, we're going to celebrate. The manosphere is going to come together and celebrate.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be cool in the gang right then and there.
And then some
sit-down talks where we're going to talk about some subjects then and now from our first meeting up to the current day. And we're going to go talk about how many things changed, how many we predicted, how many stayed the same. And we got our new style in the building. Bam.
Hey, what's good, new
style? Hey.
Teacher extraordinaire.
Shout out to the teacher extraordinaire.
That's
old lefty.
It's kind of funny. Oh yeah, he is a lefty, isn't he? It's kind of funny because we have so many multifaceted people.
You climbed in my head, Charles. That's where I was going to go because the first time you used that term, it made me smile. And I think that was the first time I joined you on your channel. I think that was the first time.
Yep. I said this before, and I'll say it again. The one thing I love about everybody here is that we're so multifaceted, so much so to a fault.
Yeah. Well, let it be a fault. This is who we are.
And this is the reason why we're great. We're not great because we're fighting, because we're fighting when we're strong. We're great when we're fighting when we're weak. We're the supporting cast to each other. We're not allowed for somebody else to be, the starring role.
None of that.
We're not afraid with that.
I mean, it's like your true character comes. I mean, what does it say? In tough times is when your true character comes out. In times of strife is when you know who your real friends and family are.
That's the truth. And that's I wanted this donation stream to happen. Like I said, I came to Charles, and Charles didn't even blink. He said, "Let's do it." So I appreciate you, Charles, and everyone here that's on the panel, and those who have donated.
Oh yeah.
And this won't be the first. This won't be the last one.
Oh no! You gotta get that. You gotta get a couple of games called in. Gotta call the games for us, man.
Yeah, man.
Matter of fact, I can't wait till we should have a Manosphere radio where we got the Snowman calling out games. Even though you can't technically show them, but to call them out like the old radio host used to.
Done.
Flavor. Oh man.
I mean, the breakdowns him and Cole have.
Oh sorry, yeah.
Jordan's free. Hey, Charles, this is for you. Jordan's free throw, good. 100-99 with 2:10 remaining. Michael Jordan shooting for the tie in a quiet Boston Garden.
Wow.
Second free on the way. It's a tie game. 100.
Oh yeah.
They lost that game.
Yeah, they did. 108-104. They lost that game.
I want you to be.
It was a game where he came out because they realized this is something special.
The game where he came out, its anniversary is coming up Wednesday, April 20th. April 20th of 86. That's the 63-point game.
420. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
You did the 63 against Larry, right? Okay. That was a loss.
Yeah, it was a 2 overtime loss.
Everybody forgets how he lost the motherfucking Cookie game. He got his ass kicked by New York, Boston, Detroit, and Philadelphia. Those were the folks. Well, one more, and Cleveland. They owned his ass from 84 to 88. Yeah, he was
actually,
but
the teams that owned him were the Boston Celtics and the Detroit Pistons.
Oh,
because the Celtics had
you can't live in Milwaukee.
Oh, Milwaukee gave Jordan the blues. Milwaukee gave us the blues.
Damn, what was the other dude?
Sidney Moncrief.
Percy. His last name was Percy.
Paul Pressey.
They owned his ass. Don Nelson's offense owned Michael Jordan when he was in Milwaukee.
But you know the greatest thing? The greatest thing is there were lessons learned all throughout the journey to the top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
He had to learn from Milwaukee beating him in 85, the Celtics, 86 and 87, 3 straight years with Detroit, 88, 89, and 90.
Yep.
And then in 91, he finally They figured it out. That's the thing.
Let's
That's
not
what we
forget
do
something,
here.
Brian.
What's that?
You forgot in the first few years of his career, and of course in the first couple of years of Scottie Pippen's career, both men had Charles Oakley up in their ass.
Charles
like the older
Oakley. Man.
Virginia Union's fine.
Virginian Union, baby. Oh, by the way, we bring this. Sick. We bring this up.
Yes.
Sick. We bring this up a lot when the comparisons with Michael Jordan and you know who come up during the show.
Yeah.
The first player ever to lead the league not only in scoring but steals was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
1988.
In fact, if you might remember, if you caught the replay of the last show, Friday show, it was either Friday or Thursday show.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to be the absolute dick that I am, and I'm thankful my father, created me to be a complete dick about everything. But I asked this very important hypothetical question because the Lakers, they got rid of Frank Vogel,
which was
and this
stupid.
whole thing was it was a setup. It was a setup right from the get-go.
But set up to fail. Period.
Set up to fail, exactly. But anyway, I asked both Wise. Hey, hold on a second. But here's the question I asked both Wise and Cole. What do you think would happen if Charles Oakley was named the new head coach of the Lakers? Who'd get choked out?
Everybody.
Everybody will get choked out.
Everybody would get choked the fuck out.
Everybody get choked the fuck out.
Everybody get choked out because Charles doesn't play.
What if it was Latrell Sprewell?
Same difference. Same difference.
Charles, I mean, one of my favorite moments of all time as a kid growing up was I remember the show NBA Inside Stuff.
Oh,
and this
love that show.
Yeah, one particular, and Ahmad Rashad, he talked about his French, and there was this one episode where they were talking about friendship within the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to close the show, I mentioned this before, but Ahmad Rashad tried to close the show with saying something really wise, right? So he had to think of something Charles Oakley would say. And this is a quote that stuck with me ever since. He said, in the words of my friend Charles Oakley, look, man, I ain't scared of nobody because we all put on our pants the same way. Unless theirs comes with two zippers. So I'm thinking if any of those motherfuckers on the Lakers roster, their pants come with two zippers, he's gonna be having all kinds of problems with them motherfuckers. Yeah, that's all. I'm just saying.
Man,
but
back in it, Charles Oakley was my favorite rebounder. I got into the NBA back in 1980 when a fella named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhooked his way to championships, and I loved every minute of it. And then I started learning about big guys who rebound. The first one that did it, besides Abdul-Jabbar, the first one that did it for me was Moses Malone.
Oh, yeah. Billy's finest.
Mr. 444 himself.
That would be him. Would be him.
My God, but in everything, he taught the greatest center of all time the moves he needed to become a two-time champion. But I just felt like Moses everything he could to help get Houston the championship before Houston got a championship. They didn't put nobody around. You begged him to come to Houston. He got you to 2 ships. Nothing. And then he leave and go to Philly and catch.
Philadelphia got it right. Philadelphia had the roster already. They just couldn't manufacture rebounds with Caldwell Jones because he was always getting outworked.
But, at that time they still had Darryl Dawkins before Moses came.
They had
Chocolate Thunder.
Dawkins. They had Chocolate Thunder. They had Caldwell Jones. But when they faced the Celtics in the East Final and the Lakers in the World Championship Series, the year was '82. It was mobility that cost the Sixers against Los Angeles. They found a way to solve Robert Parrish, and God bless the Chief, Robert Parrish. But when they got to Kareem and McAdoo and the big guys who were mobile, they had problems. They had problems. Because there's no way Philadelphia should have lost game one of that series, and they lost by 7.
I don't remember that series because I was in my mother's womb at the time. I was a fetus at the time, so I would know. This was 1982, right?
82.
Yeah, I watched that series. Tape delay. I had to watch that series at 12 o'clock a.m. and risk ass whooping and everything to watch it. And I kept saying, why are they just not feeding the ball to Dr. J? Let Dr. J go mano a mano against Magic, and Dr. J will pull this shit out. No, y'all trying to feed the ball to everybody else but Dr. J.
I mean, what can be said about that? Bad decision making, dumb coach. No, the coach was trying. Either the coach was trying to pull something, or you know, a lot of coaches have egos, just like players have egos, right? It was like what's his face? What's the name of that coach who was controlling? What's his name? Iceman. Forgot the name of the player whose name was Ice. Yeah,
Stan Albeck was the coach.
Yeah, Stan Albeck against trying to control Iceman.
I'm gonna step away, guys. I'm gonna step away because I got to make sure my wife gets some sleep. But I will I will be silent, but I'll monitor everything.
All right.
But I'll still be listening. But I want to make sure my wife gets some sleep.
Night.
I want to thank everybody.
And what are brothers for?
No problem, brother. You're welcome.
Dr. Charles, I owe you a bunch.
He's still there. He's just I think he's away from the phone. He's away from the phone, but
he's probably on the.
I'm sure.
All right. Thank
okay,
you,
now I gotta be Cleavon. I guess I gotta be Cleavon Little with this motherfucker. Go like, Candy Grandpa Mongo. Candy Grandpa Mongo. Candy Grandpa Mongo.
He's talking to the 46-year-old. The one who's well preserved, so some BGS says, oh, he's well preserved. Boy, he had me rolling last night. I said, BGS, goddamn, boy. He said, you're well preserved, honey. This shit. I'm like, goddamn.
Man, I love it when LL just goes off like this. You know, it's just refreshing and very entertaining. Gotta love it.
Oh, shit. Come on, man. Make your goddamn right. Fuck face. Turn the goddamn time last minute. A regular Malcolm.
Oh, yeah, I know. Hey. I bet a lot of those young drivers don't know how to drive, don't know how to handle their, don't know what they're doing, right?
Shit, half of them are automatics now. They still think they're the best around. I tell them some bitches, if you ain't shifted nothing over 13, 15, and 18, don't talk to me.
Yeah, I hear you.
80,000 pounds.
I'm sure it ain't no picnic on those roads either. Sometimes it's just like, I mean,
Yep.
some of those roads, especially the roads that are not properly maintained and shit. Yeah, I mean, AL, I'm not lying when I say this. Where I come from, because like most of the central part of the country is like highlands and everything. A lot of those truckers, they gotta be extra careful because you're going up and down mountains and everything. So the roads are long and winding, and some of those roads are just like and some of those roads, especially on the far side, it could be a sheer drop if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful.
With a normal stomach, you come out with the balls on top of the cheese. That's all I'm saying. I don't care who they say they this, that, and the third. Grades, skills, and nothing to play with. Every time I go past one, I change smoke a whole pack of smoke.
Yeah, speed kills.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. So, that's why, I mean, it's just like, that I mean, being a trucker is not easy anywhere in the world, in many parts of the world. I mean, you got people who are truckers and they got to go drive through long sandy roads, like through the deserts. I mean, you ever heard of the road trains?
Yeah, I'd rather go do that in Australia than do the ice road truck.
Yeah, road trains. If anybody doesn't know what a road train is, basically they're these long cargo. These are long hauling trucks in Australia, and because the rail system ain't what it's supposed to be in Australia because of the climate and everything. They have to use truckers, and they haul like long hauls and everything. So it looks like you're looking at long trains or something on the roads. Sometimes you gotta be careful out there too.
Yeah, sometimes upwards to 14 to 36 trailers hooked to one truck pulling that.
Yeah, especially because they gotta travel to certain areas where they got long, really remote outposts. Especially because a lot of places where there's like we have a lot of ranches and whatnot, but they call them cattle stations. They gotta be delivering supplies to those areas along the way to transfer it from one city to another across that huge what you call continent.
Land mass.
And the western part is very few cities. It's a lot of it's desert and everything.
Those trucks are built not to turn left or right, just to go straight. Ain't no busting no U.
Nope.
If you miss a turn, you ass out. You better know exactly where the hell you're going. And like my tractor holds 2 tanks, 100-gallon tanks, and that's 200 gallons. Those guys are rocking 4 150-gallon tanks because there ain't a lot of places to stop them. So they got a key.
Oh, if you ever think about doing that, AL, first of all, one, you know what it is. You got to drive on the left side of the road. The steering wheel's on the right, and everything is in the metric system.
No, I just import my truck and move it down there and drive. I drive on the side of the road. I'm driving on the right side of the steering.
Well, I know.
But it's so dry, hot in that state, man. Shit, they go through blowing air filters like it ain't shit. So I'm talking about that be the reason why those trucks stop and get overheated. It's so dry and dusty out there. The air filters, they just clog up quick. So those guys, they got to run with 4 or 5 extra in the sleeper compartment berth just for backup, just so they can make it, man. They got to constantly change them out.
That's just no joke. Those desert heats, or in certain times in the years where like have forest fires and everything, it's kind of dangerous.
Oh, any day. I do not.
Hey, ice truckers are worse. Especially when they got to drive across the Great Lakes and everything. You got to make sure it's thick ice. If it's thin ice, you could sink in there and everything.
Idiots. Ain't no way. Nope. Ain't enough money in the world.
Ain't no enough money in the world. Ain't
Nope.
no.
I got a friend who no religion. And every time I come on, he comes. Man, come on, man. I can get you a deal to go over there, man. Yeah, you can be one of the first truckers to be like, nope. Shit. Look here. I don't like driving in snow. You think I'm gonna drive on ice?
Definitely not this Texan. Definitely not this Texan.
I was meant to be in the heat.
From the South. That Texas heat. I mean, it's hot in Texas. It's hot in Arizona. Hot in New Mexico. Yeah, it's just as hard in Utah, Nevada, Cali. It's hot out there.
13 months before I lay down and take 45-minute nap. I'm almost there.
Yep, folks, I'm just gonna shut things down, and this ain't gonna be the last because we're gonna
Right.
get my boy the snowman back on his feet. Thank you, Snowman, for being awesome. Thank you for kicking me to showing us how it's done. All the rest.
And while we're at it, Charles, since it's Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you can get your podcasts.
Oh yeah,
I'm having a lot of fun and just commentating and just listening to the show. It's very interactive. It's very humorous. We talk about sports, and it's just a cool 2 hours. Loads of fun. And Cole is just holding it down like he can. In fact, we shouted you out a few times even. You gotta come on to the show sometime, man.
oh yeah, I did. I gotta catch it.
You gotta catch it.
Thank you for who has donated, and please, just because of the stream might be coming to a close, go up there, see the PayPal. Again, don't forget, we're gonna do charity events like this to help my brother out. When he gets up in the morning, it's gonna be difficult the first few months, let alone the first 2 weeks. So
it's a slow recovery for him. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. That's how you do it. Yeah.
So to everybody, woo, and we're out.
Ooh yeah.